Hi there, my name is Suze. I'm a divine feminine energy healer and guide. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I so appreciate all the love and support that has been pouring out from all of you today. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I want to talk about shame today. Shame is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. I'd say probably shame and anger are my two favorite big, powerful energies that I love to talk about because so often they fall in these buckets of like taboo, right? Like you're not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. And I love rebelling against the supposed to's. You know, I'm an Aquarius sun, I am the rebel. I love to rewrite history, right? Be the humanitarian, be the rebel who sees things differently and can liberate and heal people through that rebellion being used in a positive, constructive way. So today I want to talk about shame. And how shame is a big green light. And that right there is a statement that I'm sure is going to be like, what, to a lot of people? Because obviously, shame, how people have perceived it or how that word has been used in context before for you, most likely shame was not at all looked at as a big green light of go, go, go. And so I want to tell you, first of all, we have to identify the energy of shame. I did a long time ago when I first started this channel, I did do a video on shame. I don't remember the name of it. I'm just kind of remembering this now. I did do, I think it was like what your shame is trying to tell you. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. What your shame is trying to tell you. And I had just kind of tiptoed into the idea of shame. So I kind of want to just for a hot second stop and help you recognize how the energy of shame really feels in your body. You know, I love talking about the body. I've done reels on Instagram about how, through my body, basically, I transformed my life because I became really intimately aware of how energies felt in my body. And by recognizing what was happening energetically inside of me, I've been able to really intuitively create a unique life path for myself of how I do life, how I make decisions, how I perceive people, places, and things that has been really unique and extremely powerful, confidence building, self-worth building. And this is how I teach and work with clients. Which, by the way, if that sounds interesting to you, my email is in the description box below, and I am accepting new clients at this time. So if you're curious how my energetic process works with your expansion and empowerment, book a session with me by shooting me an email, and we'll get on the phone and chat. I can play in your energy and see how we can move things around for your expansion and growth. So you have to really understand and feel, identify what's happening to then shift your reality, shift your perception, shift your own sense of self, everything from there. But it starts in the body. And shame is that energy that is sometimes, again, it can be very obvious and it can be more subtle, just like anxiety. It can be subtle, it can be obvious. But anytime anything is happening that makes you feel like this, there's shame there somewhere. Anytime there's again, like I said earlier, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Or, oh, I need to avoid that. Or, oh, I need to look away and not pay attention to this thing over here because that's unacceptable, or that's not okay, or that's gonna cause a problem, or all of that. There is shame there. Whenever there is a turning away from something, there's going to be shame in there somewhere at the core. So if we know that, and if we know that this whole journey of expansion, of soul ascension, of growth, emotional growth and maturity, heart space opening, connecting the head and the heart, unifying the masculine and the feminine in inner union, integration, collaboration. If we know all that, we also understand that it's about going into the wounds of ourselves, going into the dark places in ourselves, shining a light, bringing them to the light. And you cannot bring the darkness into the light if you're turning away, if you're avoiding, if you're withdrawing, if you're shutting down, if you're distracting, if you're not supposed to be doing this thing or looking at this thing or feeling this thing or acknowledging this thing or talking about this thing. You're not going into it. And maybe there are aspects of your life where you feel from your life experience, more often than not, it's childhood experiences. If you've had things happen to you in your life experience that makes you feel like you have a deficit in some way, or you had things happen to you that kind of feel like you were set up for failure, or things that seem so easy to other people around you, for some reason those things feel really hard to you. And people seem to just interact or do things and it doesn't seem to be a struggle, but for you it is a massive struggle that you feel so alone in, and you feel like no one understands how hard something is for you. This is all under the big world of shame. And if you want to be confident, if you want to be high value, if you want to have this big, glorious manifestation that your heart has been calling you towards for your whole life and you don't know how to get there, the first step is to go through your shame and see shame as a green light. See shame, anything you're not supposed to do, or you want to avoid, or you want to run away from. Anything like that, or anything that makes you feel less than, or makes you feel too much. I'm too much. I'm too emotional. I'm too sensitive. I'm too whatever it is. Go there. Go through it. Go through it to get on the other side, to have your breakthrough. And breakthrough simply means empowerment. Breakthrough means a new identity that is more confident, a new identity that is going to be able to understand and feel worthy of the very life and things you want. Anytime you recognize shame and you want to turn away, what might happen if you learn to turn towards and you leaned in? This is a very feminine concept because the feminine energy doesn't resist anything. It is only masculine energy that has any level of resistance. And sometimes, don't misunderstand me, I'm not saying we are to be entirely feminine with no masculine structure. No, obviously not. Boundaries, clearly, are a huge aspect to our growth and our journey and our self-worth journey. And that is masculine. But what if we focused less on that and we were able to work with things, learn how to work with things instead of constantly rejecting them or constantly turning away from them? It's the idea of leaning into something and finding a new powerful you because you have overcome something. You went through something. You looked the demon dead in the eye and you conquered it or even became its friend. There's a feminine concept. Befriend the demons, befriend the darkness, befriend the wounds, befriend the deficiencies. Deficiencies, I use that term very loosely. What if we did that? How much more powerful? Here's the other thing. In doing that, of looking your shame as a green light, go into it, go towards it, learn to work with it. You become more valuable as a person out in the world. Because the more you have learned to go into the storm and come out on the other side, you're able to recognize that same storm in other people around you, which means you are less reactive to the emotional storms of other people. You have more compassion because you recognize their storms as ones you have gone through and come out on the other side. So you will be less judgmental of other people, more compassionate, and more valuable because you have this experience and the tools to help someone if they're willing, and they decide to, help them move through their storm to the other side as well, which is exactly everything I'm doing here in my work and on this channel. I am speaking from the experiences of the storms and the shame I have looked at as a green light and gone through, stopping the whole running away. I'm a great runner. I love to run away. Love to run away. Just fun little side note, in psychology, I know a lot of you from your comments, I know a lot of you are familiar with therapy and psychology on some level. And so you probably know about attachment theory, right? And you know about anxious attachment, you know about avoidant attachment. There is also disorganized attachment style, which is me. Which means I have both anxious and avoidant that tend to happen at the same time. And I should probably reframe that because I don't actually identify with that. I identify with secure attachment. But my past is the disorganized. So I am really good at the avoidant one, and I tended to, in my past, I still have the tendency, let me be honest and be humble, I still have the tendency to avoid, but I'm learning to consciously override that tendency to stay in the secure attachment style, right? But the avoidance is big. So this is really a lot about attachment style as well. So some of you, I thought you might appreciate that message. Again, if this is something that's really resonating with you and you want to see how you can apply this into your life, these concepts, these energetic shifts, and you need someone to feel like they're in your corner, able to give you safety and support and nurturing and protection to help you move into this shame and go through these storms, come out on the other side, help you with the process of that in a very safe, nurturing environment. I am accepting new clients. Shoot me an email. Email is in the description box below. Shoot me an email. We can schedule a session, and I would love to hear your story, what you're working with, what the next stage is for you, and how I can help bridge the gap from where you are to where you want to go. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful rest of your day.